back, Math 9. Today we're going to look at polynomials and just review what are polynomials and some definitions and how to solve the very basics that we learned way back in grade 9 and a bit in grade 8. So to start off here, we want to know what is a degree, okay? So my first one here, we have 2x to the power of 5 has a degree of, well, I take a look at this here and we look just at that 5 and it's going to be a degree of 5, okay? Now the next one is negative 2 over 3 multiplied by a, b to the power of 3, c to the power of 2 has a degree of what? Well, look at this here. All of these things are multiplied together. Now if you remember my exponent rules, we add exponents when they're multiplied together. So this is all one term. Okay, we needed an addition sign or a subtraction sign in between to separate terms. Okay? Now let's take a look at this next one here. It says we have 3x squared y squared minus 2x to the power of 4 plus x y to the power of 4 minus 2. So if I look at this one here, this degree is 4. X squared, y squared, we add my exponents, we get 4. This one here, we have a degree of 4 as well for this term. Okay, we have 2x to the power of 4. Now this term here, we have a degree of 5 because we have x to the power of 1, there's an imaginary 1 there, and y to the power of 4. We add those together, I'm going to get 5. And this one here has a degree of 0. So overall, I have a degree of 5. Okay? Now, how many terms are in each one of these? This one here only has one term. Okay, it's a product. This one here has one term. This one here has 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. Okay, so this polynomial has 4 terms. Now, what makes it 4 terms is that it's separated by these adding and subtracting. Okay, whenever we add and subtract sections, that gives us terms. Alright, so now here are some definitions, and I'm just going to define them by how many terms they have, these first few. So a monomial has, think of mono, 1 term. A binomial, bi, will have, like bicycle, 2 wheels, will have 2 terms. Next one is a trinomial. Think of a tricycle. Okay, that's going to have 3 wheels, 3 terms. Okay? Now, anything else greater than 1, 2, or 3 terms, we're going to call it just a polynomial. All right? Now, next one here says leading coefficient. So what is the leading coefficient? The leading coefficient is the coefficient of the term with the highest power. Okay? So for this one here, the leading coefficient is 1, because my number in front is a 1. Now, for this one here, my leading coefficient is negative 2 divided by 3, and this one here is a leading coefficient of 2. This one here, the leading coefficient is not 3, because that's only to the power of 4. That's not the highest power, so my leading coefficient will be 1. What we're looking at is constant term. What is the constant term? It is the one with the degree of 0. So it has a variable with a degree of 0. So look at this here. This 2 is the constant term. The variable, if there's an x or y there, are to the degree of 0, so they're not there. It's just multiplied by 1. That is my constant term, or it's just a number. Okay? Now, we're going to look here a little bit at combining things. So I have some algebra tiles here, and I want to figure out what is this here. So if I have this, these are positive, my colors are positive. So if I look at this, I end up getting what? I have 2x squared minus x squared, right? So I'm going to type that in here. We have 2x squared. And I want to take away, and we're taking away, x squared. Okay? Now, I also look at this, and I have 1, 2, 3 x's. So that's plus 3x. Oops, put that back down. So I have plus 3x. And then I also want to take away an x. Okay? And then we have, what else here? I have plus 1. So we have plus 1. Okay? Now if I simplify this, it's going to look a bit different. So I take this here, these will cancel out, right? So I delete these, and they cancel off. This cancels off with that. So I delete those, I cancel off. What am I left with? Now I'm just left with x squared plus 2x plus 1. So let's plug that in here. This is equal to x squared, and we have plus 2x, and then we want plus 1. Okay? That's how we did that. We just combined each term. That's it. Okay? Now we're going to look at these questions here. This first one says 4x minus 2x squared plus 3 minus 6x squared plus 5 subtract x. And I want to simplify that. So I'm going to use, for that first one, my algebra tiles to help me out. I'll look at this. We have 4x. So I'm going to put in here 4 x's. 1, 2, 3, and then we have 4. Okay? Then I want to take away 2x squared. So I have 1, 2, okay? And then we plus 3. So I want to add 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to move these over. Black. And then it says to take away 6x squared. So I have to take away another 6x squared. So these are negatives. Remember, clear negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? And next it says to add 5. So we want to add 5. 1, 2, that over, 3, that over, and then we have 4, and then 5. Okay? And then it wants to also add a negative x, so we put in a negative x. Now if I look at this, I can start simplifying. I could cancel off, these x's will cancel each other off, right? A negative and a positive cancels each other off. So now what am I left with? I'm left with negative 1, 2, 3, 4 by 2, negative 8x squared, and 3 plus 3x plus 8. Okay? So let's take a look at that back here. So my answer was negative 8x squared plus 3x plus 8. And I looked at this, when I combined these, what could I only combine? I could only combine the squares with each other, the x's with each other, and these with each other. So I cannot combine x with x squared. They're different size shapes. I cannot combine them. So that should help you see that. So if I was to do this by hand, I would just look at it this way. So I have 4 x's, and where's another x here? Negative x. So that's going to give me 3x. Then I take a look at this. I have, notice how I'm canceling off? I have 2 x's, 2x squared, negative 2x squared, minus, and then I have negative 6x squared, which will give me negative 8x squared. Because that's negative 2x squared plus negative 6x squared, that gives me negative 8x's. My next one here, I have 3 plus 5, so that's plus 3 plus 5 gives me 8. Okay? And we could just rearrange that if I want. Negative 8x squared plus 3x plus 8, which gives me the same answer. Okay? Now here's my next one here. We're looking at a's and b's. Right? So I look at this, a squared and b. Is that the same? It's saying a squared by b minus ab squared. Okay? Then we have 4ab, 7ab squared, and 5a squared b. Well, I have to look at which ones have the exact same variables. Well, a squared and b and a squared and b, those are the same. ab squared, I have an ab squared here, and I have an ab squared here. Those are the same. So those ones are all ones I can combine. So let's first do this. ab squared minus 5ab squared. So if I have a positive ab squared, or a squared b, and then I add another negative 5ab squared b, or take away 5a squared b, I'm going to be left with negative 4a squared b. Okay? Now we have ab squared, and that's a negative, and another negative ab squared. So that's 7. That's going to give me negative 8ab squared. My last one here is 4a cubed b plus 4a cubed b. Because the variables are the same. You can only add them if the variables are the same, like we saw from before. So I want to start off with my leading coefficient and my leading term, which should be this one because it's the biggest degree. This is a degree of 4. So remember, there's a 1 there, so that's degree 4. So I'm going to have 4a to the 3b minus 4ab and a squared minus 8ab squared. Okay? And that is my simplified answer. So there we go. Hopefully you understood this. Good luck as I see you tomorrow. We'll work on this together.